Hello everyone, welcome back to some more Runeterra Academy. Last video we went over aggro decks, and I know I've been going in the order of aggro, mid-range, control, combo in talking about these different kinds of decks, but I'm going to go ahead and skip over to combo because I like combo decks, and I know that, at least one viewer in particular is also a fan of combo decks, so that's what we're going to talk about next. The combo deck in particular I'm playing is going to be Ezreal and Twisted Fate. It's a pretty fun deck. I've been playing it. I will say I haven't played it that much. When I say not that much, and this number might mean different things to different people, I've probably played about 35 games with this deck. I don't really consider myself like knowledgeable on a deck until I've played probably at least 100 games with it, which is a lot. It's probably a bit much, but I'm very much still learning how to play this deck. 35 games in, there are many instances where I don't feel I know the deck super well, but that's all right. It's all a learning process. So, combo's role in the whole aggro mid range control combo kind of sphere is that it wants to gather certain cards, play them in a certain order, which lead to a specific win condition. Ezreal, in this case, is our win condition. Well, we really actually have closer to three win conditions. Ezreal is the quote unquote main one. Obviously, you want to level Ezreal by targeting units. You'll do that with like Mystic Shot, Thermo Beam, and stuff like Make It Rain and Riptide Rex can target multiple units, which can level Ezreal far more quickly. Our other kind of combo win condition is Twisted Fate. Twisted Fate doesn't really outright win the game when you level him the same way Ezreal does, but it's kind of like where Misfortune doesn't outright win the game, but she has like inevitability. Twisted Fate represents a lot of inevitability when you level him. And what I mean by inevitability is that the longer this card is alive, and it really doesn't have to be that long, the more value it'll get, and the more of these cards it plays, the more ahead you'll be, and the more behind your opponent will, to a point where they just can't catch up anymore. So the third win condition, aside from Ezreal and Twisted Fate leveling, is just kind of controlling the board down and pushing in enough incidental damage to get them to zero. Like even with Ezreal, we're not trying to go from 20 to 0 with Ezreal alone. We want incidental damage with stuff like Jagged Butcher. We've got Riptide Rex, Yordle Grifter, Petty Officer. These units can get in damage throughout the game, as well as occasionally like a Mystic Shot to the face, or that's usually not right unless you're trying to trigger a Plunder and your warning shots and stuff. Oh, I should also say to help Twisted Fate, we have Salvage, Pool Shark, Sonite Urchin, and of course Twisted Fate's Pick a Card. Those will all draw you a lot of cards very quickly. Drawing 8 cards might seem like a lot, but honestly, it's really not hard. You can usually do it, well, not usually necessarily, but if you're really trying to go for it, it's not hard to do it within a span of like 2 turns. Salvage and other burst cards are also. Oh, the nab cards also work with Twisted Fate, by the way. The burst cards are particularly good with Ezreal because it lets Ezreal get the 2 damage to the Nexus without the opponent being able to respond to it, which makes them easier to kill. So they don't like heal or try to kill your Ezreal in between the damage that you're doing. Riptide Rex is honestly kind of the third win condition in a lot of ways. Because, like I said, you'll just have all these small incidental units doing damage, and then a Rex will come down, clear their board, and you can just swing for a game. That's honestly probably how you, or at least how I most often win with this deck, is that way. Then Ezreal, then Twisted Fate. Let's see. As far as Mulligan goes, and by the way, the reason that I'm talking more about the individual card choices here, where I didn't with aggro decks, is because with aggro decks, we're really just trying to play the most efficient, cheap minions or units, I guess I should say, within those regions. Whereas combo deck, our card choices are a lot more deliberate. As far as Mulliganing goes, Thermo Beam you keep pretty much every single game. There are a few minor exceptions where you wouldn't, very minor ones. Like against War Mother's Control is probably the only deck where I wouldn't keep Thermo Beam. Jagged Butcher is pretty much a keep every single time. So Zonite Urchin and Pool Shark, you might think like, oh, these are one-cost minions. I'll keep them in my opening hand and play them on turn 1. No, I kick these back because honestly, you don't want to play these on turn 1. Pool Shark, you want to play when you want to get value on your next turn, or when you want to try to find a good play for your next turn, or play in general. Sometimes we just have a bunch of combo pieces or removal we can't play, so it's good to be able to play it ahead with Pool Shark. Zonite Urchin, you want to you want to toss either fleeting cards that you can't use, like with Pool Shark or Twisted Fate's pick a card, or you want to toss cards you nab from your opponent that you don't have a use for. So, I think that about covers it. We can talk more about mulligans when we get to them. Oh, as far as the whole matchups go, right? Because this is something I want to. This is something that's very important to keep in mind is how each kind of deck typically, not always, but typically plays against each other. So combo decks, combo versus aggro. Aggro is usually favored. Usually they can just rush you down before you can get your combo off. This deck is a little more well poised against aggro because we have stuff like Make It Rain, Mystic Shot that can get rid of their units, and we can also contest their early units with stuff like Jagged Butcher. But we're still generally unfavored against combo decks. Mid-range decks is a little closer to 50-50. Depends on the deck. Really, they're going to want to try to rush us down as quickly as possible, similar to aggro decks. Control we're actually super favored against. Control and combo decks are the two that want the game to go on longer. The thing is, Control, at the end of their game, they're going to play a bunch of high-value big stuff, but at our end game, we're just going to kill them. So that makes our end game better than theirs, and generally why Control is better. Finally, combo versus combo, you're really just trying to get your combo off first. And that's really all there is to that. I mean, there is more to it than that, but generally, you just want to try to get yours off first. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into a game or two here. If we have enough time for 2 games, I'll play 2, but combo games do tend to go on a bit longer than aggro, so I might only have time for 1. Oh, hey, look, another stun deck. I wonder if this is the same person. I'll have to go back in the video. It's probably not. So this is a mid-range deck, so against mid-range, Ezreal I would really only keep against control decks. Rex I would really only keep against other combo decks. Maybe sometimes. Nah, I can't really think of any other times. Now, also, again, like I said, I have not played this deck super often, so these mulligans could very well be wrong. Well, I don't think these ones in particular are wrong. I guess what I should say is, I'm not a master. Don't take my word necessarily to heart with specific instances, but I'd like to think the general advice I'm giving is worth listening to. We'll just go ahead and drop Jagged Butcher. Even though we can't get the Plunder right now, like 1 mana 2/2 is still totally fine. Twisted Fate's good to keep against pretty much every deck just because how versatile he is. Twisted Fate you also don't want to be afraid to play as just a good utility card. Interesting. It's kind of a loose stun. It tells me they either have a lot of stun cards in hand or they're trying to level you out quickly. Doesn't necessarily have to be the case, but it's a little suspicious that, especially since they're passing here, I have this feeling that they have a lot of stun cards in their hand. So yeah, I'll just go ahead and play Petty Officer here. But yeah, like I was saying about Twisted Fate, even though he is like one of the ways you can end the game, Twisted Fate is often at his best as just a general good utility card, so don't be afraid to use him that way. It's often correct, honestly. Now, they just passed last turn, so this is a concept that's really important to learn. So the fact that they passed last turn tells me that they don't have many slow cards they want to play. I guess Sao being the only exception here because you could just play them at 4 mana now. But if you suspect your opponent has a lot of fast cards, then you should try to play a lot of slow cards, and vice versa. Now let's see here. We can attack with everything but this. We'll try to Thermo Beam to kill this if they block. Culling Strike I'm totally cool with. I'm also totally cool with them just taking the damage here. We'll just keep the spell mana banked. There's a thought to BB... excuse me. There's a thought to, like, recalling this and cheating Ezra. You know what? There's actually honestly not. There's no reason to do that in this situation. I mean, it's something you could do. Like, if, you know, the game's not going to stop you from doing it. But when I see you couldn't do it, I mean, that's not a great play here. Okay, now it's kind of worth considering. Well, not really, because we don't want to keep any of these in particular alive. Yasao's going to do a lot of damage. I might just Thermo Beam it. So, if that's the case... Oh, no, I have 7 mana, not 8. I was thinking about salvaging a response and then Thermo Beam, but then I can't kill it. I could Twisted Fate plus Thermo Beam if I get the red card. I'd probably just gold card here, actually. Yeah, we'll just do that. We'll let this go through. Our stuff's gonna die. It's not that big of a deal. And then now we can just gold card Yasao.
For a round or two. Dead in their tracks.
Now we have to make a decision. Do we also want to Thermo Beam it? I think we do, actually. I feel like they're leaning pretty heavily on this Yasao. So technically red card was probably... Well, no, because gold card stopped the attack. So gold card was correct there. Even though we didn't need the extra damage, it was still fine. We'll just go ahead and open attack here. So we can pilfer goods. Yeah, I'm fine with that happening too. In that case, we'll salvage here instead of pilfered goods. What'll be burned? A Rex, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Yeah, because you can only have 10 cards in hand, and most of you probably know this. You can only have 10 cards in hand. You definitely don't want to burn cards off the top of your deck. Pretty much ever. That's almost always bad. But especially against... or rather, if you're playing a combo deck, you definitely don't want to burn your cards, because it's pretty easy to burn a crucial card if you do that. So we're at 4 draws with TF now. But we'll just start with a Mystic Shot here. Interesting. Let's start with a salvage. I might pilfer goods for 1 just to level Twisted Fate. But I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to pass first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, right? 4, 5, 9. Okay, yep.
Tenacity to trial.
We can probably just Thermo Beam that, because that's a slow card that gives it health. We really don't want it to gain health here. So, we'll just Thermo Beam this. We can pilfer goods on our next turn to level Twisted Fate. Oh. Yeah, that's unfortunate, but it's not the end of the world.
My friends.
Is Ezreal at 3 of 8? Not awful. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, we're good. Let's see. What do I want to do here? There's a part of me, there's a very cheeky part of me that's like, oh, we could just deal 7, 8 total damage to them right now. Put them at 7. There's no reason to do that, though. Because if we were going to do that, it'd probably be better to try to recall our own Rex. But even then, that's such a loose play. It shouldn't be the first play on your mind. I'm thinking Twisted Fate for a blue card right now. We could also throw out an Ezreal. They'd probably go out of their way to kill it, which would probably be pretty good for us.
Don't blink or you'll miss me.
It'd be good for us because then we can keep our Twisted Fate alive, and we have a second Ezreal anyway. Stun the weakest enemy, huh? Okay. That's fine. Let's attack. That's also fine. It's gonna... Oh no, the Usal's already leveled. I was gonna say that's gonna level the Usal, but it wouldn't matter because this would level out anyway at the start of the round. So they really just didn't want me to get a Mystic Shot there? That can't be right. Considering I already have one. Well, I mean, I guess they don't know that. You have to kind of figure I do, though, right? It's pretty likely here. Let's... I'm thinking if I want a gold card or blue card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. So I can blue card without overdrawing here. The reason I'm thinking about gold card is because it would make this easier to kill with Rex and or just incidental damage, but they're probably not going to play another...
And stuff, but could you maybe speed things up a little?
Such a cheeky line from Ezreal. So I guess, yeah, we're going to play Twisted Fate for sure. I guess we'll just play the blue card. Yeah, gold card is a bit excessive. I don't think we need it.
Soak it in.
Notice I have a lot of cards in my hand, and I have for most of the game here. This is a pretty typical trend of combo decks to play a lot of draw cards, because you want to find your combo pieces as quickly as possible. Now, do I want a Zonite Urchin here? I think I do. I think I want to Urchin and discard this recall card. Retreat. There was a thought. There were thoughts on using it earlier, but it didn't end up being useful. And honestly, I'd rather have a card for my own deck at this point. So that's why I played Zonite Urchin there. There is still consideration to use it on Twisted Fate, but I mean, we drew another one. So it's gonna be fine.
I accept.
I'll just block with a 2-1 here. And now it's at 3 of 8 targets. I'm thinking about whether or not I want to Rex here. It doesn't feel necessary. Drawn 3 of 8. So 4, 5, 8. We can try to level this Twisted Fate. Let's do that.
Game. Go on, then.
Watch the ball, folks.
Back one of my warning shots because I don't need to right now. Oh, you know, there was actually consideration to warning shot plus merchant plus pilfered goods. That's actually probably still just the play. I wish I would have... Well, what else would I have put back? Not this Ezreal. Probably would have put back Petty Officer. There's really no need to plunder right now, though, when we're going to level next turn anyway. I should have thought about that more. It was probably right to just plunder. I can actually almost assure you that it was. But at the same time, you could make an argument for playing the worse cards when you're more free to do so. Okay, that's fine. I'm pretty satisfied with these Will of Ionias, honestly. Like, I'd much rather it happen now than on my leveled Ezreal when I'm trying to kill them. Yeah, we'll just pass. Dragon's Protection. We can't kill it, so that's fine. And pass.
You should stay back, cowards.
Oh, we did overdraw. I didn't think we were going to. I should have counted better. Oh, because of Pool Shark. That's what I missed when I was counting. That's why. See, I didn't do it out loud, and that's why I said earlier, like, talking your plays out loud is so useful. That's one of the reasons for it. If you try to keep everything in your head, you're not going to be able to keep it straight. Let's gold card here and try to get in some damage with our minions. So I feel like I'm being a lot quieter in this video. In fact, I almost know I am. And honestly, the reason for that is because I'm trying to think a little bit more. Because I'm playing a combo deck here. I don't care that this is stunned, right? I mean, even if I did, there's nothing I can do about it. So, let's see. We can warning shot because it's fleeting anyway. So we can get the 3/3 pre-combat. If our opponent wants to keep stunning our stuff, they're more than welcome to. Attack with everything we can. But yeah, like I was saying, definitely need more thought is required to play combo decks, which is kind of like a duh, but also aggro decks are just... It's not that they're always easy to play. There's this kind of meme that aggro decks are brainless. But aggro decks definitely do require their own decisions, especially in this game, where the aggro decks tend to be closer to mid-range decks than aggro decks in other games. Yeah, so the opponent just kind of got their sense of inevitability there. Like, I have so many cards. They were probably already on the verge of conceding. Sorry, I just had to laugh at Ezreal there. Yeah, honestly, they were probably on the verge of conceding, and then that plunder just pushed them over the edge. That might have seemed like an early concede, but with that damage we got in, plus they know we're on Rex, plus we know we're getting closer to our Ezreal, that wasn't an awful concede on their part. And we're also normal, which probably had a factor to it. So, part of me wants to play another game. Yeah, why not? We'll play 2 games. There's no reason not to. Staying hydrated as always important. Ooh, so this is going to be a deck called Kinku Elusives. Zed, solo Zed, Freljord, Ionia is pretty much always Kinku Elusives, which is definitely an aggressive deck. So, the way that Kinku Elusives works is they try to get a big Green Glade duo and also play just a bunch of Elusives and just try to, like, burst you down after doing a bunch of incidental elusive damage. So definitely can't keep Ezreal here. Can't keep Salvage, can't keep Yordle Grifter. Make It Rain's going to be pretty good in this matchup. And, one moment. Excuse me. Yeah, we're going to want stuff like Mystic Shot. Thermo Beam would have been a keep for me. Twisted Fate's always a keep. Twisted Fate's red card is particularly good against this deck. Make It Rain is also very good against this deck, because a lot of their elusive stuff has 1 health. I don't want to play Zonite Urchin here because I want all of these cards. There is a thought to discarding Ezreal, but I think that's a pretty loose play. Ezreal's not the worst blocker here. Plus, it's so easy for our draw to be worse than Ezreal. It's not a risk worth taking. I'm going to pass here. See if they play something else. They did. Do I want to Mystic Shot that now? There's not really a reason to. I can do it next turn when I'm much more flexible with my mana. Yeah, see, I'm on 6 mana here.
Let none disturb my
Ooh, Got the double Omen Hawk buff. That is pretty lucky on their part, I gotta admit, but... Well, we're gonna take 5 this turn. There's no bones about it. There might be a part of you that's screaming out for me to play Ezreal and block. And that part of you is actually might not be wrong. Yeah, I think that's actually correct here. I was about to talk about how it's not correct, but I don't need Ezreal right now. And this 1 damage will let me kill the Solitary Monk with Mystic Shot plus Twisted Fate's gold card.
You're between me and glory.
I think that's actually the right play.
No way.
Which is kind of surprising. It does not seem like it would be. Start with TF's gold card.
I'm always up for a round or 2. All that glitters.
Get in for 2 damage. If they want to chomp, I'm cool with that too. And now, thing is, it's pretty easy for them to have Elixir of Iron. I'd really like for them to have no mana. Let's see if they play something else. They're probably gonna pass though. Yep. Ah, Thermo Beam's pretty nice draw here.
without want any.
Ooh, that's brutal. Oh, that's brutal. Ah, the triple Omen Hawk buff. Jeez. Yeah, Omen Hawk extremely good in this deck. Yikes. We're in a pretty bad spot here. And as you can see, this is how a lot of aggro versus combo
Gotta trust your
matchups
instincts.
play out. Let's start by trying to fire off the Mystic Shot here. Yeah, they had the Elixir. They played it from the far right, too. When your opponent draws cards, they go to the left side, so that's how you know when they got the card that they're playing. That came from the far right, so, yeah. Like most things that come from the far right, that's pretty shitty. Heyo, but let's see. Make it rain. Just this sucks. We're probably gonna we're dead. Like 13, 14, go down to 5. Make it rain. We'll set Thermal Beam to 4. Salvage would set it to 2. What wins us the game more of the time? Probably not the cards in our hands, are probably Salvage. I guess we can just play Salvage now. Yeah, we'll just casually go to 5, I guess. That's rough. It's not the end of the world, though. Like, we're pretty likely dead, but you always still want to play your games out. This is what I kind of meant in the last video when I said you should not be, like, giving up halfway through your games when it feels like defeat is inevitable. Like, yeah, we're probably going to lose, but we could still win, and we should keep playing until we get to a point where we either lose for sure or, well, we win. So, interesting. Triple Black Market Merchant? Is that... We could steal an elusive unit to block this? We could steal in the Void Highwaymen to try to block theirs? These make blockers anyway. I mean, at this point, this game's like... kind of a toss-up anyway, so it's like... Whatever, YOLO. Let's play a bunch of Black Market Merchants. Why not? Ooh, plus on a leveler TF. Ooh. This actually... Yeah. Ooh.
Silent as death. Hang on, Buzzball.
Hey,
Yeah, we'll just keep playing everything out here. I guess there's no point to building this thing's attack now that the Shadow Assassins come down. Yeah, whatever. Ooh, 4-mana Windfare Hatchling is really good. I can't attack with anything here, can I? No. Not even the Omen attack, or not even the Omen Hawk attack is free, because it's definitely a much better chump blocker. This definitely can't attack because of Shadow Assassin, which sucks. But it's not the end of the world here. If we get the opportunity to play Windfare Hatchling, that's going to be pretty good for us. So Twisted Fate is leveled, which is good for us, but doesn't necessarily mean we're saved yet. Oh, we got a chance to play. Oh, man, this is going to be so good. Watch this. See, that triple Black Market Merchant play looked loose, but, like,
eyes open.
again, we were in a pretty losing situation. So when you're in a losing situation, it's much better to play more loosely, which that just means making plays that are more risky, but have, obviously, a higher reward. Playing tight is what people refer to playing it safe. You should do that when you're winning. Concussive Palm on the... Oh, they're trying... that sucks. But we can't do anything about it, so we're gonna have to let them stun this. Now, let's see. We already got the blue card. Twisted Fate, by the way, will always play the blue, then the red, and the gold card. I'm pretty sure it's always that. I'm like 99% sure that's the case. So we want to play the red and the gold card. Let's Mystic Shot that. That'll get the red card going, and then we'll throw out Make It Rain to gold card one of these Navoria Highwaymen. Suddenly this game that we were so sure we were going to lose is looking winnable. Which is really cool. Okay, now we're just going to gold card this, which is fine. That's even better. I mean, well, no, it would have been better for this to die, but... Interesting. Let's Make It Rain in case this dies. Which it did. Hey, look at that. So that's a really good board state for us. Yeah, like I said though, this game that was suddenly looking not unwinnable, but not very likely to win. Now we're like, I don't know if we're 100. Well, we're definitely not 100% favored. You're not 100% favored unless you're actively killing them. But it seems with each play, with each interaction with our opponent, our odds of winning are only increasing. So I kind of did want to show a game of us losing to aggro, just to, I guess, kind of make that point. But this is kind of a comeback game, which is even cooler. Let's start... Actually, should we just open attack here? No. Let's start with salvage. Because that'll get us a blue card. It'll just give us a lot of options. And yep. See if our opponent has a response to the blue card. They don't. And that pass back was pretty quick, so they were either hovering over this or they're on auto pass. Watching for whether or not your opponent is on auto pass is actually kind of a legit thing. Not even kind of, it is just a legit thing to do. I'm going to Zonite Urchin and get rid of my Jagged Butcher here for a red card, and also because I don't really need Jagged Butcher right now. Yeah, watching for whether or not your opponent is on auto pass is a legit good thing to do. Because if it seems like they're on auto pass, then you kind of know they don't have answers to your stuff. Let's get rid of a Riptide Rex. We don't need two of them, especially because I think the game is ending really soon here.
Hold it, partner.
Actually, isn't the game just over? This is not a game on attack.
Luck is smiling.
You cannot escape.
Yep, I think that does it. Wow. That was a good comeback game. And yep. Another good reason to use the eye, like I was talking about last video, if you see they're at 0, then you can just like click OK and then you just know you win. So yeah, that's pretty much combo decks in a nutshell. That last game was also a good example, like I said, of playing to your outs, which that means playing in a way that... the English language is failing me here. Sometimes it just fails you altogether. Playing to your outs basically means playing in a way that you not necessarily optimize your chances of winning. Well, no, you do want to play... Oh, God. Playing to your outs is optimizing your chances of winning, even if it's not the optimal play. That's what I was trying to say. Which isn't always right, but when we were in that spot where we were behind on board, and I was like, oh, we can just triple Black Market Merchant. Maybe that'll get us something. That's playing to your outs, because nothing in our hand was going to keep us from losing. So really the only way to stop myself from losing was to steal stuff from my opponent, which ended up keeping us from losing. So there you go. In any case, that's going to do it for the combo video here. I guess we'll go on to mid-range next time, and we'll just take it from there. So, this is XLex signing out. Have a good day.